So I saw Magazine Dreams early, and from the trailer, I kept saying this feels like a piece of art that now reflects life, even though that wasn't its original intent. AMC has this program called Screen Unseen. They basically give you the rating for the movie. It's a discount ticket, but whatever's going to pop up on the screen is a complete surprise. And I'm sorry, I gotta bring this up first because I thought it was funny. Disclaimer: Black people, big step back. We are witnesses, not participants. We are not dragging ourselves on the teams that never drafted us. Our name is Bennett. We ain't in it, nor are we saying what either side is doing to each other in this conflict is okay. However, bringing this up because it happened. Every theater that participated in this program got the same movie, and I believe the same trailers in the same order. And the last trailer that came on that ran so long we low-key thought it was what we were watching at first. Let me just show you.
This is not about Jews. This is about democracy. This is about human decency.
What does it mean that the future leaders of the most important democracy in the world are chanting for intifada? What is the country going to look like a decade from now?
What is at stake is the soul of America.
After that, the title card comes up, and when I tell you Magazine Dreams hit the screen and this white woman in front of me packed up all her stuff and dipped, and yes, the exact picture that's going through your mind right now, got up, one arm to hold all her items, the other one to angrily stuff everything in it before pouting her way out. And after scrolling social media post-film, apparently some of her kinfolk felt the same, and for me, I'm just like, so Michael Rappaport and his crew and some token black guy basically telling us how America has been brainwashed into fighting for the wrong side and who the real bad guys are and how we all need to do better. That was fine when you thought that's what we were watching, but Jonathan Majors is where y'all draw the line. Which leads into the question you will be asking a lot during this film and growing more concerned each time: how much hell can one man take? And even if you feel he's earned it, how long is the beatdown supposed to be before he's allowed to get back up, dust himself off, learn and improve, which is a conversation in our community we seem to have a lot every generation. If the ruling of that court case left you unable to support anything he ever does in the future, you have all rights to feel that way. If you don't feel comfortable spending money on anything he does ever again, that's fine. However, Rolling Stone and these media companies dropping this surprise hit piece just before the film comes out feels more ingrained in messiness than it does in morality and journalistic integrity. Because you could have put this out the moment that information came across your desk, but you held on to it until you felt you could get the most out of it. That's like, I don't know, there being allegations of a beloved figure being taken advantage of or even abused in his final years, and you having video proof of that, and instead of offering that to the public when they were all looking for it, you wait till he passes and put it behind the paywall. Anywho, spoiler-free review of the film. Jonathan Majors plays Killian, a bodybuilder who lives with his elderly grandpa who has dreams of being a magazine-worthy professional. First act of the movie very much shows you this is a damaged man who's doing his best to keep himself balanced on a daily basis, but is clearly suffering from childhood trauma, steroid abuse, and possibly neurodivergent. I don't want to misdiagnose. And there's so many moments during the course of the movie that you can't tell if he's suffering from one or all three of those things, on top of like basically being haunted by racism at all times. He's almost like a big ass kid. Like there's many moments in the film where like, yes, you're a grown man and technically you're allowed to be here, but should you? Now, he has the potential to get this big break, but an unfortunate incident occurs that just sends him on this downward spiral. And again, you can argue that he brought it upon himself. Now, the internet does play a factor here because he tries to put himself out there and he does not get the response that he's looking for. And then as he fails and fails and fails throughout the movie, he Googles himself to see if his biggest blunders pop up, and they do. And the things people say about him get just progressively worse and worse and worse, and I can't repeat any of it or I'm gonna get a hate strike violation on this video. And now everyone knows his name, but not for the reasons he'd like them to. See how I could easily be talking about the character or the person who portrays him even though this movie came out before the controversy? Crazy, right? It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and you keep asking yourself, how much more can one man take before the crash out inevitably comes? He's either going to hurt someone or himself or possibly both. And then during his dark descent, he runs into one of the people who caused his Joker level one bad day and started all this. Again, you can argue he did it to himself, but we're here now. Now, me at this point in the movie, I'm like, hey, super sock this man. Who cares if his wife and kids are watching? You clearly need a win right now. But instead, he decides to drag the situation out in a public place. And it goes from getting some get back to growing very uncomfortable for everyone in the scene, including you watching it. Again, how much more can one man take and how much worse can it get? Now, I know I'm mostly talking to my people already, but just in case, bring it in. There's one scene, that I could have done without, or I think could have been done a lot better. And by me saying that, most of y'all know what I'm getting at. All right, back up. And it's a double-edged sword, really, because if this movie came out without controversy, this would be the scene where a certain section of our community would be going, oh, there he is, you know he had to do it, he sold out, humiliation ritual. But on the back end of that blade, as a viewer, you're just watching this going, what the f***? Because at this point in the film, you're thinking he is finally catching a break from all the bullshit he has been through. Only for it to cut to the next scene and you slowly realize he has been kicked further into the darkness than Aqua was during that decade in Kingdom Hearts. And with Majors revealing some stuff about his personal life recently and being an executive producer on the film, I feel like this was done intentionally to put you in Killian's shoes, as well as the shoes of other people who have found themselves in this scenario. Because it just cuts to the next scene in a way that leaves your brain playing catch up. So you're sitting there asking yourself, what just happened? Did what I think just happened happen? And how did this happen to someone who has had clear subconscious and surface level boundaries that were established at the beginning of the film? Small character trait spoiler. Killian does not like being touched. That is apparent throughout the film, whether he's at his best or he's at his worst. He likes being seen. He does not like physical contact at all. Because it's not shown and you're just left to insinuate, you're asking yourself, how did anyone bypass that boundary? And then you look at the person who put him in this scenario and you suddenly you and Killian are like, we trusted you. You were supposed to make things better, not badder than they already are. At this point, the film starts doing these soprano level cut to blacks that almost feel longer with each one. It makes you nervous each time because now you're thinking, what chaos are we about to see in the next scene that's gonna outdo the previous one? How much more can he take? How much worse is it gonna be? And now you're like, all right, nigga, that's it. The crash out's coming. Is it gonna be just him? Is it gonna be him and one other person? Is it gonna be him and a bunch of people? Is he just gonna go take it out on random people? I ask yet again, how much of a beating from life can one man take? Now, towards the end of the movie, there's a moment where we reach the point of no return, and as black men, we suffer in silence a lot. And even if we don't verbalize to them what our issue is, sometimes just being in the presence of our elders is enough to pull us out of that darkness when it feels most inescapable. And there's a moment where they kind of pay a tribute or nod to that I thought was just beautiful and poetic. The movie comes out today, and look, I know we've seen Jonathan Majors and a lot of other stuff, but I need y'all to understand, this is a drama film that plays out like a drama film that was made by people that have a love for that genre, the art of theater, and storytelling. So don't go in there looking for anything you've seen previously acting or special effect wise. This is not that. You're going to go watch a man chase a dream and wonder for 2 hours if he is ever going to get his Darkwing Duck moment and get back up. And I know before all the stuff happened, it premiered at the Sundance Festival, and people were saying that this was going to be his big one. This was going to be the one that gets Oscar nominations or other award nominations. And after seeing it, yeah, I fully co-sign that sentiment. Movies like this aren't even really my cup of tea, but I still give it a solid B. Overall, I do definitely think it was worth a watch, especially because Screen Unseen let me see it at a discount. But I'm curious, what do y'all think? Y'all gonna go see it? If you're not, that's fine. For those that do, what did y'all think? I would love to hear other people's input on this because there's a lot to process in that movie. Now that it is out for the public, I'm very curious to see what other people think. But that's just my 2 cents from a surprise screening that I saw. So as always, thank y'all for watching, especially if you made it to this point of the video. Appreciate you truly. Hope y'all have a blessed weekend.